Chernihiv, an American man who was in Ukraine helping his partner, Ira, get life-extending treatment for multiple sclerosis, was killed during a Russian attack in Chernihiv on Wednesday. He was waiting in line with other civilians to get bread, his sister Cheryl Gordon wrote on her Facebook page, according to NPR. "We don't have confirmation from the embassy that's specific to his death, but I do know that as things were deteriorating in the city and the food at the hospital, my brother was the one that was going out to the store to bring back what food he could find," Jim's other sister Katya said in an interview with CNN. People's request for comment from Jim's family was not immediately returned. The State Department had no comment when reached by People. Katya also said that at one point, her brother had bought some treats at the store, so he could bring back cookies to the nurses that were helping. He also had a stash of chocolate that he was keeping so that he could hand out chocolates when someone was being depressed or just needed a little encouragement. When asked if her brother's decision to stay in Ukraine with Ira was difficult, Katya replied, "Well, in a sense, no, because he was not going to leave Ira's side in her condition," adding that Jim was in Ukraine shortly before the invasion started because he had gotten medicine in the United States and found a doctor in Chernihiv that would treat her. He had arranged for an ambulance to transport himself, Ira, and her mother to the hospital so she could start treatment, Katya said. Continued Katya, "When she was admitted to the hospital, the doctor thought she had a mild case of pneumonia and said, 'Let's treat the pneumonia first and then start the MS treatments.' Then of course, in 2 days, the invasion started, but he was not going to leave." In the days leading up to his death, Jim posted on what appears to be his Facebook page about how scared and cold he was, and that food, water, and other resources were running low. "He was my little brother and I remember growing up, he pestered me a lot, and my mother would say, 'Now I didn't see him do it, so it doesn't count.' But I would go back for those moments anytime," Katya said. Russia's attack on Ukraine continues after their forces launched a large-scale invasion on February 24, the first major land conflict in Europe in decades. Details of the fighting change by the day, but hundreds of civilians have already been reported dead or wounded, including children. Millions of Ukrainians have also fled, the United Nations says. The invasion, ordered by Russian President Vladimir Putin, has drawn condemnation around the world and increasingly severe economic sanctions against Russia. With NATO forces massing in the region around Ukraine, various countries have also pledged aid or military support to the resistance. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for peace talks, so far unsuccessful, while urging his country to fight back. "Nobody is going to break us, we're strong, we're Ukrainians," he told the European Union in a speech in the early days of the fighting, adding, "Life will win over death. And light will win over darkness." The Russian attack on Ukraine is an evolving story, with information changing quickly. Follow People's complete coverage of the war here, including stories from citizens on the ground and ways to help.